What I was about to face is every artist's nightmare, and it just so happened that it happened to me.
Montana carries with it its own narrative, and that storyline starts with the wonder-struck beauty of the landscape. The beauty is what you see first, but immerse yourself even a little while in Montana, and you'll discover that it takes true grit and resolve to get the most of any Montana experience. Montana is not the place for a soft man, and fly fishing is no exception. You face real elements there that you don't face in other places. Grit is required. I've been around Jasper for a few years now, and of all the qualities that I admire in him, his stamina stands out at the forefront. Jasper is tough, and he's no quitter. I knew he was ready for the rivers of Montana, and as pretty as they may be, you have to know how to fish them. Montana is the land of giants when it comes to trout. It was time for Jasper to tell his story, and I figured, get a man in his happy place and he's more likely to open up his heart just a little bit more.
So I started writing songs when I was 13 years old, and I've spent more time of my life being alive writing music than I have not. And for me, music was what sports was to everybody else my age at that time. Some people were obsessed with football or baseball. For me, it happened to be writing lyrics and playing the guitar. And so by the time I was 17 years old, I found out about Nashville, Tennessee, and how you can write songs and make money. You could have that as a job, which was a brand new world to me, or being a recording artist and getting paid to record music. And so by the time that I found that out, it was the only thing on my mind that mattered. All I knew was I have got to get to Nashville, Tennessee and start writing music and making music.
Every man was once a boy, and every boy has a dream of who he wants to be when he grows up. At least it starts out that way. Maybe a pilot or a scuba diver or a baseball player. No matter the dream, the reality is every boy grows up. And maybe that's what I love most about songwriters. They actually did chase a dream. My good friend Ben Stennis penned the line that Cody Johnson made famous. If you got a dream, chase it, 'cause a dream won't chase you back.
I knew how hard Nashville, Tennessee would be to operate and navigate as a songwriter because, first of all, everyone told me when I moved up here that it would be. There are so many talented songwriters and artists in this town. I mean, this is the Mecca. This is where you come if you want to do this, and everyone here is dang good at it. So I knew that was going to be a hurdle. What I didn't know was the hurricane laying in front of me that was coming for me, and how hard that was going to be to navigate. What I was about to face is every artist's nightmare, and it just so happened that it happened to me. Early into my career here in Nashville as a songwriter and artist, I found out that I had a cyst on one of my vocal cords, which is a nightmare of its own. And so I went through years of therapy, vocal therapy, trying to fix that, and we fixed a lot of it, but then found out that on both of my vocal cords, because of the cyst, I had a lot of scar tissue. And so I set out to get that fixed, which was supposed to be a very easy operation, a couple steroid injections into both vocal cords. It was supposed to break up the scar tissue on my cyst, or on my vocal cords from the cyst, and I would go on 7 days of no talking, just vocal rest, and I'd get back to it. I should be 60 to 70% better than I already was after that procedure. After 7 days of not saying a word, I tried to say a word, and I couldn't. Not just that I couldn't say a word, I couldn't make a sound. And 7 days turned into 14 days. 14 days rolled into 21 days, where I was still barely getting a sound out of my mouth. And that's where we as in myself and my parents, came to find out that while I was out on the operating table, the person operating on me decided they would try to remove some of the scar tissue from one of my vocal cords with a knife. because that's how deep the scar tissues ran into my cords. They thought, instead of just the injections, let's see if we can remove some of this. This was not what I signed up for at all. I was never told that a knife was going to be used on my throat. And to make a long story short, they cut out a little more than just that scar tissue. Obviously, this was a massive problem, and it scared me a lot. And I went to another doctor here in Nashville to get another opinion. And that doctor told me, we don't know if you'll ever sing again. And if for some reason you do, we definitely could not tell you when that would be. So if you can imagine, that was pretty crushing.
When the unexpected happens, the journey toward becoming cynical or jaded is a short road to traverse. You can get there pretty quick. Questions of why, God, rise inside of a man just like a trout rises on a stream. That blind man's story reflects something inside all of us. A man wouldn't be human if he didn't question why. And when a man's purpose, and especially any dreams attached to that purpose for living, when those things get threatened, my experience is the man himself becomes threatened. Men are emotionally tied to what they do. It's just built inside of us. And when that goes sideways, the dark night of a man's soul emerges.
When we were fishing one of the rivers in Montana a couple days into our trip, Jason turned to me and said, this is not going the way that we planned on it, and that's kind of ironic for what story we're trying to tell here. And I just laughed and said, that's exactly what I was thinking last night. And for anyone who hasn't seen our video that we did in Key West with Greg Cook, I'd say go check it out, because for some reason with Wild and Kingdom, God seems to know the topic that we're going to film and tell the story on, and he plays into it. Just like in Key West, we made a video about being prepared, and God knows, did we need to be out there? And for this, we were trying to tell a story about how I was navigating hard conditions and having to play the hand that I was dealt. And that's exactly what we were doing in Montana, trying to fish these rivers in hard conditions.
Yellowstone, baby. Hey, throw me that net. Throw me that net and I'll try to get him for it. Hey, just take your time. Walk him back.
We can all agree that the most consistent expectation we should have in life is that life will hand you the unexpected. And like the great Mike Tyson quote, every man has a plan until he gets punched in the mouth. And let me tell you, I got punched in the mouth when I got dealt this unexpected moment in my life. And out of all the things that you can think of that I probably struggled with when this happened to me, I did. But the thing that I struggled with the most was how it shaped and affected my identity, or what I thought my identity was. And that's what we're going to deep dive in the Wild and Kingdom studio when we jump into the podcast episode of The Unexpected. So please, if you'll do me just one major favor, if you've watched this, please go listen to that episode where we jump into identity. It's going to be a great one, and I'm going to get to really dive deep into my story and how all this shaped me into the man that I am now.
Well, it's all right, riding around in the breeze. Well, it's all right, if you live the life you please. Well, it's all right, doing the best you can. Well, it's all right, as long as you lend a hand.
You can sit around and wait for the phone to ring, waiting for someone to tell you everything. Sit around and wonder what tomorrow will bring. Maybe a diamond ring.
Well, it's all right, even if they say you're wrong.